Hey guys, hey, we're going to talk about gut health and how important it is for us to have really, really good gut health so that we can have overall health in the body. I don't think that many of us realize that there are actually more neuroreceptors in your gut than there are in your brain. So we have this condition that we just kind of blindly throw around that's called brain fog. And when I have a lot of people say, hey, I'm just like confused all the time, I just can't think or whatever. I mean, sometimes it's caused by sleep, sometimes it's caused by dietary issues. And a lot of times, what we come to the realization of is that people have digestive issues. And what's happening is there either isn't good elimination in the body or there isn't good absorption of the food in the body to get the proper nutrients. And what happens is the digestive tract kind of gets all gummed up, okay, for lack of a better term. But when we have inflammation in the gut or when we're just not having proper elimination, quite literally the brain gut can't connect with our brain. And so we are going to have brain fog and we're going to feel like not everything's okay with the world. So one of the things that really is an issue with digestive health is an overgrowth of yeast. And most of us don't even know that it's there, but yeast is a really, really big culprit in our system. Now, some of the things that can cause this overgrowth of yeast are taking antibiotics, okay? So there is naturally, most of the yeast overgrowth in your body is going to be from a Candida albicans is the name of the yeast, and it's naturally in your mouth. It's also naturally in the digestive tract, and it's there for a reason. However, if we take antibiotics, what happens with broad spectrum antibiotics is they kill off the good bacteria, the good gut biome that we have. So let's say we have a sinus infection, okay? But we take an antibiotic, it's going to kill the good bacteria that's in our gut. And so there's going to be an overpopulation of yeast in our gut. So this Candida albicans that is normally there in the right quantities, there's an overgrowth of that. So antibiotics is a big one. Also, you guys, yeast love sugar. They feed on sugar. So if you have a high sugar diet, more often than not, I can almost guarantee you that you are also going to have a yeast overgrowth in your gut. So cutting back on sugar, one of the things that does is it stops bloating in the stomach. Now, think about this. I'm a microbiologist, and so I know, and we all know this is just pretty much general knowledge, yeast give off gas. Think about it. When they make beer, right? I mean, they use yeast in that. When we make bread, we use yeast in that. It's not Candida albicans, but still, it is a yeast. And what we want it to do is give off that gas so that it can ferment that beer, or we want it to give off that gas so that our bread can rise, right? So if you have an overgrowth of Candida or yeast in your gut, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to give off gas. So you're going to be a little more gassy than most people, and also you're going to feel bloated because of that gas. So when you start to take sugars out of your diet, you will start to realize that just like a balloon just kind of deflates. That was just a horrible illustration, but very, very true what happens in the body. Also, high alcohol intake is another indicator of yeast in the body. Alcohol literally turns to sugar in the body. It goes through the liver, and it actually is just like drinking sugar. Only there's a lot of other toxic items in it as well. So if at all possible, and in small quantities, I'm not saying don't drink alcohol, but what I'm saying is be very leery, of drinking too much alcohol because it does have bad effects in the body, not just from a yeast perspective, but from a liver perspective as well. So watch that. Taking oral contraceptives can also increase yeast in the body. Diabetics, because they can't eliminate the sugar as well as they can because of insulin factors, and also high stress levels, okay? So remember that cortisone and that belly go right along together. So high stress increases yeast, increases cortisol. Guess what? double belly problems. So really, really watch your stress levels. So things that you're going to start to see if you have a yeast infection is you're going to feel fatigued a lot. And a lot of this is because of a vitamin B6 or a magnesium deficiency, because those yeast use those up or they stop the absorption of that in the body. Also, you might see thrush. So thrush, we know, is when you get that white tongue. Sometimes babies get that. Elderly people can get that. Anybody can get this. And it is just an overgrowth of yeast in the body. Now, guess what? Yeast, don't take antibiotics for yeast at all, because yeast are not susceptible to antibiotics. But we have many essential oils that are. Things like melaleuca, your On Guard. We've got oregano is another very, very good one. So using these things like are in your GX Assist, everything that's in GX Assist, which we're going to start on day 10, is going to provide antifungal properties with it. So also digestive gas is going to be another big indicator. Sinus infections. So just like that, like if we take an antibiotic because we have a bacterial sinus infection, guess what? An overgrowth of yeast can happen there as well. Of course, skin and nail problems are, if you have fungus in your toenails or in your nails, it comes from inside. Okay, and so we need to really detoxify and get those yeast out of our system. And this is a big one, is joint pain. And joint pain, it's usually going to be in the hips and in the knees. So if we have, I have to tell you, since I've been doing this cleanse, and I haven't even started with GX Assist. That's why I'm super excited to get to day 10, because I really, really want to start my GX Assist, because I know that I have had a yeast thing going on, because I've had way too much sugar. I was drinking more alcohol than I normally do and just not eating well. Okay, so beer and bread, guess what? They're made with yeast. So when you eat those two things, number one, the sugar that comes from them, but also the yeast that they're made with. You guys, it just makes sense that we're going to have more yeast when we eat bread and we drink beer. We're going to have a belly. It just makes sense. It's called a beer belly. It can also be called a bread belly. So there are a few items besides your essential oils. We know that they're going to be fantastic. Your GX Assist, and I think that everybody should use GX Assist for 10 days a month, at least every 3 months. So like every quarter, think about using your GX Assist for 10 days every 3 months. So garlic is very, very good for getting rid of yeast. Also, coconut oil, very good. Curcumins, which are going to be in your turmeric products. Xylitol, which is a natural sweetener. Aloe vera, pomegranate, which I've been eating a ton of pomegranates since they're in season right now. You're making your own kombucha is also really good for that, and using probiotics, which we're going to start to add in our PB Assist after we do that reset with our GX. We're going to renew with our PB Assist. All right, you guys, this has just been, I mean, we're going to go in way more into other digestive issues as well, but yeast is going to be a big one. So keep that in mind. Your diet affects your brain. Our digestive system and the way that we take care of it, I'm telling you what, the brain fog lifts, the belly starts to deflate. There's so many things that are going to happen for you as you continue with this cleanse. So guys, just keep going. We'll talk to you soon. Lots more to come today. Bye.